Hey guys, how you doing? It's Gavin here from Start Fresh Personal Training. And this video, 90%, is about, or apparently studies have been done, and they say that 90% of people that initially lose weight regain that weight after a period of time. And this actually astonished me. I've read numbers in the past, but this is a recent article I just read. And yeah, the study's been done. They reckon 90% of people. And to be honest with you, if I look at it from my own personal experience, probably true. I know loads of people that have kind of weight problems, and I don't know any of them really that's kept it off for more than a year, 18 months without regaining it back at some point. And I don't know, obviously, if I knew the reason and I could tap into that, I'd probably be a millionaire. But I'm going to give you some thoughts about why I think that is the case, and maybe you can take something away from it and apply it to yourself. And not be one of those 90%. So the first reason I think that people struggle to lose weight long term is because of these cheeky bad boys here, habits. Now, when I started to lose weight, and like I said, I'm probably one of these people, one of the 10% that have actually kept weight off for a long period of time. For at least 6 or 7 years now, I've kept all my weight off, not put it back on, and I was one of the worst chronic yo-yo dieters ever. And it comes down to this thing right here, habits. And when I first started talking about this topic, I didn't really, or when I first started reading about this topic, I didn't really even think about habits, to be honest with you. When you kind of look into the subject, you kind of realize that we're all full of bad habits. And all these habits have been ingrained, and a lot of these habits have been, I guess, picked up over the years since you were a child. And there's a couple I'll talk about now. One of them is treating yourself after doing something good. So, you know, I'm a dad, you might be a parent as well. And what do we do when our kids are good? We give them something sweet, we give them some chocolate, we take them out for an ice cream, for a treat. All those things stay with us a long, long time. So for me, it was 30 odd years of treating myself with food, because that is how I was brought up. That is what everyone does. You know, you look on Facebook and you say, oh, I deserve a bottle of wine, I deserve a takeaway, I deserve this. You treat yourself with food. And it's just a habit that you've got into, that you genuinely believe that you deserve to treat yourself by overindulging in food. And when I kind of realised this, and I thought to myself, well, you know, I used to drink quite a bit. I used to go out all the time with my mates and everything else, and I don't do that so much anymore. And I used to eat takeaways and everything else. And when I realised that, you know, if I wanted to make a long-term change, some of these habits that I had to go. They couldn't be in my life anymore. Alcohol was one of them. And when I first started to make that transition, it was really hard, because a lot of my friends didn't like it that much. They didn't like the fact that I wasn't drinking anymore. But they're just habits that we get into, and they're socially acceptable habits that are really difficult to break. And you know, they become really emotional and psychological. So, you know, after a long week at work, the first thing you end up doing is treating yourself to something naughty, something sweet, something else. And when you do that all the time, if you had a couple of bad days, you could end up smashing your nutrition and diet out of the park by thousands of calories. And you know, with that in mind, you know, you need to create healthy habits. And the problem is, because they've been ingrained in us for so long, it gets very, very difficult to break those habits. So what people tend to do at the beginning, they go hard out. They don't really spend enough time learning how to diet properly, learn how to exercise properly, but they do get results short term. And when the motivation runs out, as it does do, you go straight back to your old habits again. And you may even be kind of counterproductive as well, that you think you've lost 10 kilos of weight, so you go and treat yourself for something bad, because that is what you do. You treat yourself with food. And it comes down to habits. Same as exercise. We all associate exercise as a chore, and it's something we need lots of motivation to do. And we get in the habit of associating exercise as a chore. We don't get in the habit of exercising to feel good and you know, to do what our body's designed to do. So one of the big ones comes down to habits. So hopefully, you know, you can change your habits. And the way to do that is just pick one thing. Have a crack at one thing. Pick something you need to work on. You know, I've taught this before, whether just get into exercise again. Just start doing it. And the more you do something over and over and over, the more ingrained it becomes, and hopefully it sticks as a habit. So the next one for me is having a filter. And it sounds a bit weird, but for me, I've got a filter of things I go through. And when I make my decisions, whether it be food or exercise or whatever it is, I put through a filter. And my filter essentially comes down through my why. So I've talked about my why before, why I do what I do and why I sort of, keep the weight off, because I don't want to be fat like I used to be. And that's really powerful for me because I was always like that. So things now I put through a filter. So it takes a bit of practice and it's quite hard, but essentially that I won't eat anything really, really bad consistently, because it doesn't fit in with my goals and my kind of why, I guess. Okay, an example of that was when my parents came over last year. We had a really busy day. We've been on holidays and stuff as well, and we came back. They wanted fish and chips, and I didn't. And so I took up to the chip shop, bought fish and chips, and I ended up having something at home because it didn't fit in with my filter. I put it through my filter, and it didn't work. Okay, but then people go, you need a life, and you should have fish and chips. But to be honest with you, I didn't miss it. I don't. It's not what I wanted, and I was happy enough to making my own food when I got home. But because it didn't fit in with what I wanted, I didn't have it, and I make that decision. And it's about being conscious, and you need to have a filter too. And if you want to successfully diet long term, you need to have a bunch of filters and a bunch of standards that you live by to get through. And the other thing is, you're not missing out. You're not missing out by not eating ice cream. You're not missing out by not having that second glass of wine. You're still achieving what you want to achieve, which should be more powerful than the instant gratification that you go for when you're eating bad foods. So basically, have a filter, and if whatever the action or the food or the exercise or not exercising or omitting to exercise doesn't fit in with your filter, then you need to change it so it does. And it could be, you set your alarm to get up in the morning and you don't feel like getting up. Does that fit in with your filter? Is that going to help you achieve your goals? If it does, stay in bed. If you need a rest day, have a rest day. But if it doesn't and you need to exercise, you need to get your ass out of bed and go do some exercise. Same with that chocolate bar as well. If it doesn't fit in with your goals, you shouldn't be doing it. So the third thing I'm going to talk about is long-term or longevity. Every single person that I personally know wants to lose weight. Well, not every single one, that's a lie. A lot of the people I know, okay, they are in it for the short term, okay, so which means that summer's coming, a birthday's coming, they've got something to look good for, and they focus on the short term. So think about this for a minute. When you say you've got 10 or 15 kilos to lose, and you've got a deadline where you're going to kind of be exposed on holiday, or you want to look good for a photograph, you'll do whatever it takes to lose weight short term, because all you can think about is that holiday, the photo, the occasion. You absolutely make no thought of what happens after that. And when you go onto your holiday or whatever it is that you do, you smash it. So you get on the lash, you eat all the food you want to eat. It doesn't go into your filter. And all of a sudden then come back off holidays and you absolutely zero motivation, because you didn't plan long term. You got hard out. You basically may have starved yourself. You've gone without. There's lots of scarcity. You're not eating sugar, not eating carbs. You're exercising twice a day, and it's too much. And it's too much for a short space of time when you're not used to it. And your motivation will only take you so far, and you don't think a long term. And for me, when I went back and did all this stuff, I literally had a 90-day goal. That was it. I had no vision past 90 days. And I got 90 days and I thought I'll do it again, because I still didn't quite look how I wanted to look. And I did 6 months, and then did 9 months. And then I realised to myself, I don't ever want to go back to how I was before. And it kind of by accident I discovered long term. So then, instead of looking for 90-day plans, I was looking for 12-month plans, 12-month training plans that I knew I could stick to for 12 months, because my goals and my vision started to expand a little bit. And then once that started to happen, it became easy because I had something to focus on long term. And my training was split up into different cycles. I was doing different kinds of diets and things like that. But they were all went through my filter. I practiced them all to try and become habits. And my long-term goal was there, and I had a long-term goal. It was no longer 90 days anymore. So when you're going to plan on losing weight and exercise and getting fit, reducing your blood pressure, whatever it is you decide to do, think of long-term. stretch it out for a year, okay? Stretch it out for 2 years. Come up with some kind of system that you can put in place to last for that long and beyond, because the longer you do something for, and the slower, more steady approach you take, you're going to get better results long term. And funny enough, when I first started personal training, I tried to sell a package to a poor lady, and I had a package of 8 week, 12 week, 16 weeks, I think it was. And I tried to sell the 16-week one. It was actually cheaper than all the ones put together, because that's how this fitness marketing was done, and that's how I did it. And she said, yeah, she'd agreed to it, and we signed her up. The next day she texted me and said, I can't do 16 weeks because it's just too far away. I can't even think that far away. And I was like, oh, it didn't make any sense to me. I was thinking more cost, but to her, the long term was just too far. So what I'm saying to you is, think of a long term goal, but instead of, making it a massive effort. Some people can't think of a year in advance. All you need to do is set a bunch of mini goals, okay? Have a long-term goal, set a bunch of mini goals, and just hit the goals every day. Pick one thing, practice, change, practice. Put it through your filter, and hopefully it'll become habits. And your build up of habits over time will help you with long-term weight loss. And when you get, there's no end. That's the bottom line of it. You're doing this fat loss thing, there's going to be no end. It's like being a smoker or an alcoholic. If you start exercise, if you give up smoking, it's not just for 3 weeks or 12 weeks, it's a long-term thing. And you need to think of your health as a long-term goal. It's like paying into a pension fund. You don't pay into a pension fund for 12 weeks and hope to retire in 65 years old spending all your money. You need to invest in yourself and your health and everything else, and you need that long-term. And it's all about implementing things that you can do on a daily basis, easily to start. So down the track, these things become habits, and you can obviously do them long-term. So have a long term in mind. Don't worry about 3 months, 6 weeks, 4 weeks. I need to lose weight, 10 kilos by then. Think of the long term goals, and think of your health as an investment. And the last thing I think is important for long term fat loss. Don't become that 90% and you become the 10%. Is to enjoy what you do. Whatever you decide to do, you need to enjoy it. Now, for me, I used to do lots of Aikido and everything else, which is a martial art. Hurt my knees, couldn't do it anymore, and it was taken away from me. I couldn't do what I enjoyed anymore. But I do enjoy weight training. I do enjoy high intensity training and circuit type training. What I don't enjoy is jogging, because I can't anymore anyway, because it hurts my knees. I don't enjoy sitting on a pedal cycle or on a bike for 40 minutes. I don't enjoy a treadmill. I don't enjoy a cross trainer. I don't enjoy this. I don't enjoy swimming. So I found a way to exercise that I enjoy. Weight training, circuit training is pretty much what I do, and I enjoy it. But for you though, you might enjoy sitting on the bike for 40 minutes. You might enjoy doing the machines in the gym. You might enjoy doing press-ups and squats. That's fine. Do what you enjoy, because it needs to be long term. As I said, you need to be able to enjoy it. It needs to go through your filter, and it needs to become a habit. And if you don't enjoy something, if it's really torturous for you to do, you shouldn't be doing it. Same with nutritional strategies. If you hate going no carb, don't go no carb, because at the end of the day, you're gonna fail. I had a conversation with one of my clients, Sam, who's been on here before. He tried to go keto for a couple of days, and this boy, he eats hundreds of grams of carbs on a daily basis. He eats an awful lot. And he just couldn't do it. He didn't enjoy keto. So why on earth would you carry on doing it if you didn't enjoy it? He was getting brilliant results doing the other stuff, so he's gone back to it. But you do need to try different things. You do need to have a go at other things, so you can sort of, find out what you enjoy. So for me, I've done keto. I have done Weight Watchers. I've done low carb. I've done paleo. I've done all sorts of stuff, but I didn't enjoy any of them. But what I do enjoy and what I do like doing is tracking on my fitness pal, and that's why I ask you guys to do it and tell you, because for me it was the easiest thing I found. It might not be for you. Some people it's portion sizes, some people it's shakes, whatever you enjoy, but you've got to be able to do it long term. You've got to enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, then you need to find out another way to do it. And literally, guys, all you're talking about is reducing calories. There's nothing more to it than that. Yes, low carbs are being scientifically shown to burn more fat and stuff like that. Yes, okay, fine, but it's not much, and it's literally marginal. But if you don't enjoy what you're doing, don't be doing it. It's ridiculous. And the other couple of things I think is longevity. people don't create habits, they don't think of long term, they don't have filters, and they don't enjoy what they do. And if all those four things, you've got a perfect storm to be basically go back to your old habits, because your old habits, you enjoy them, they're familiar to you, and they're easy, you don't have to think about them, and you go straight back to them because that is what you know. You need to invest a bit of time, you need to invest in kind of education, you need to sort of, research what works, what doesn't for you. Not for me, for you. And once you do those things, you're going to find that everything becomes a lot easier and you're going to be successful long term. And you could be like me, one of the 10% that manages to keep their weight off long term. It's only been 7 years. I'm 38 years old now, so it's only been less than 25% of my life. Who knows what happens in in a few years' time. But one other thing I'm going to say as well is find something to motivate you, find something to kind of inspire you. And for me, I became a personal trainer to help other people because that was really inspiring to me. But not only that, it keeps me accountable as well. I can't be an overweight trainer. My vision of a trainer isn't somebody overweight, somebody who eats junk food. My vision of a trainer is somebody that looks after themselves, they exercise, they eat well, and they're able to find ways to help other people. And that is what keeps me going. However, had I not found personal training, maybe I'd be part of that 10%. But you've got to find something else to aim for as well. And if if you're able to keep your weight off long term, then you should be helping other people as well, because your experiences are going to help other people, and people will relate to you for that. So that's pretty much it for me, guys. Don't be one of the 90%, be one of the 10%. And I think these are the 4 or 5 things that you need to do to be one of those in that 10%. Like I said, it's all about starting fresh, guys. You've got to find something you enjoy, start afresh, try something new, keep trying until you find something you enjoy. And I promise you, you're going to get results you want. That's what I did. And that's what I'm sure any other successful person who's lost weight has done. And yeah, so at the end of the day, guys, start fresh. If you don't make a change today, how will tomorrow be different? Cheers.